In this lesson, we'll have a look at what happens when we create or confirm our quotation. So we've got our quotation here. And you can tell straight away because of the blue text that it's in a quotation. If it was black text, it'd be a proper sales order. We do have a sales order number associated with it, but it's not yet a sales order as such. I can open up a few more of these extra fields if I want to. So we can add a couple of these, and I'll just show you some of the things you can see once you turn these on. You get a lot more information here in this line. You can also turn some of these off if you're not that interested in them. But yeah, just a reminder that sometimes if you don't see the information you're looking for, you simply just need to go and turn on the extra fields. That's just as a bit of an aside. So let's go and open up this quotation. So Morgan's had a conversation with Cameron, and Cameron's he's been a bit and ahhing about this analysis one because it's not really a fixed quote. It's really kind of loose, and we get that, but we explain our position in that. Well, I can tell you from experience it's going to be about 10 days, but at the end of the day, if your staff aren't willing to participate, then that can be really hard. And you can also say that alternative, if your staff are really good at getting me the information in the shape and form I need it, then maybe that looks like 8 days, not 10 days, and therefore I'm happy to concede those 2 days rather than charge you for them anyway. So maybe that was the conversation that Morgan had with Cameron. But the rest of these he's all happy with, so he's even happy with the terms, so we're all good to go now. So what we can do is confirm this order. So I'll click the confirm button, and we've now got a confirmed order, and you'll notice we've got some more buttons here. So the smart buttons that have shown up, we've got one for a project and 4 for a task. So this has created a new project and 4 tasks within that project, which is great, and we can get to it straight from here. You'll notice also that the prepaid service to a quantity of 2, that line is now got these are in blue, and blue indicates that we can invoice for these straight away because they're a prepaid service. I can create an invoice for these right now. We're going to do that, but not in a next lesson. In this one, we're just going to have a look at what creating an invoice, converting a quotation to a sales order actually does. And then in the next lesson, we'll have a look at creating some invoices. So this is good. So I can either click on project or I can click on task, go to the task within that project. But let's go the long way. Just so you can see what has happened behind the scenes. So if I jump out of this sales order altogether, and I'll go to project, and you can see this project has been created with with the S number, with the sales order number, and it's got the 4 tasks within it, and 112 hours has been allocated to this project. So let's open her up, and we can see our 4 lines from our invoice, from our quotation and our sales order. So that's all come through, and we've got the initial analysis of 8 hours has come through. The workshop of 16 hours has come through. Remembering that was 2 days. Our analysis, which we've got 80 hours allocated. So if you recall, that was a 10-day job. And then our final presentation, we're going to allow a day for it, so it's an 8-hour job. So we can really see what's going on here. Let's go back now to, I'll go back to the sales order and open up that sales order. I should say, notice that it's black now, not blue. That's because it is a confirmed sales order. It's a proper sales order now. From here, I can access the tasks and things. So if I was a salesperson, it may be a different person to the person actually doing the work. I can see, okay, I can I've got a link to the sales order from the project as well. I can see that I've got 4 tasks. I can see I don't have any milestones, and these milestones are different to the milestone type service that we're looking at. These are project milestones, a slightly different thing, and we'll talk about that in a maybe another lesson. We've got the recorded hours here of being done because we haven't done any hours on this. We've got our burn down chart we can see from there, so we can see the project's travelling from a burn down chart perspective. Billable time, how much we've used up, and if we're collaborating with anybody. And this has got the on track button, so that means things are going good for this project. They're right on track, and so they should be, considering we've only just approved it. I can put in a description in here if I want, so I can edit this, and I can put in a description about what this project is. Review of software tools. I might make this a little bit prettier. I might go type in the / and you get this menu pops up, and then I can either select from this menu, and you can see there is quite a good list of things I can select from. I can put links into these descriptions, I can put images in, I can put tables in, I can put separators in, I can put checklists in, I can put numbered bullet lists in there, headings and so forth. So I might pick out heading 2 and Cameron's concrete, make that look good, and review of software tools. I can really make this kind of look really nice, and for anybody that's working on the project, they can come in here, see the description, understand what it's all about. We can change the label on the project itself if we want to. We might want to put in Cameron's concrete and then the sales order number or something like that in there, just so we can understand what it's all about. All up to you. We can set dates, so we're going to start on the 17th or maybe the 18th, and finish it when, on the 31st of August or something like that. I won't do that just now. This is really just showing you around, and we'll get into some of this detail later on. We can go into the tasks, which we've already kind of looked at from this point of view, and what is created from the project is a new category, and we can rename that if we want. So I can edit this stage, and we're going to call this to do. So this will be my to do stage, and save that. And I might want to add another one. I'm going to say this is in progress. I don't need to do this, but I can. And I'm going to put in a done stage. And, oops, I didn't click away. Done. And I'll click add, then I'll click away. And that's how you add another stage. Then as I progress through this, I'll move this into progress and then into done and so forth, or I can anyway. So that's looking pretty good. I can add some customizations, I can do some other things in there. I can share this as read-only, I can share it as editable, and I can create invoices from here as well. We'll look at some of these options later on, particularly sharing with the customer and things a bit later on. But for the moment, as I said, this is really just having a look around. In the project too, I can set a description. I can also click on the settings and see who's got access to it. So I can have it say only internal employees, invited employees can see this, or only employees, no one else. But the selection is for invited portal users and all employees. So that means that anybody with portal user access can view this as well, and that's the way we can share this project with Cameron if we choose to. I can see that timesheets are turned on for this, and I can see that it's billable as well. So that's good to know because we want to be able to bill for this. Invoicing, I can add some. We'll see what happens with that as we progress. But we're going to create some invoices as we go along. We'll be able to see some of those things. So this is about the project. I will go back into a task one more time, and we'll open up one of these tasks, and I can see that I can again add a description. So maybe I want to have a description about this task itself, and it might be different to the description about the project. So I can add that in there, and I got the same options here. As I can use the fancy menus and bullet lists and that kind of thing. Maybe you want to have a little checklist here. Part 1, part 2, and maybe you tick things off as you go along. Maybe it's get documents from Cam or something like that. And then when Cameron sends you those documents, you can put a little tick box in and say, yep, it's done. That kind of thing. So I've also got my timesheets here too, which I'll have a look in a second. I can assign this to people, but Morgan's the only one that's available. So by default, he's responsible anyway, but we can really spell that out. If we had more employees, we could assign it to certain staff members. The customer's in here as well, so we know at any point in time who the task is for. We can see that it is linked to a sales order, and the particular, so this is sales order number, and then the line within the sales order, and we can set deadlines and tags on these tasks as well. And we do have a link back to our sales order there. So yeah, as a bit of a look around, I wasn't really trying to change or do anything in this particular lesson. It's really just about seeing what happened once we confirmed that sales order. Converted the quotation into a sales order. And that's now moved. It's moved through to. It's now in sales order mode. I can print this out too, and you'll notice that there is a slight difference in how this is presented, but only because it's now a confirmed sales order. So we won't worry too much about that. I think that Morgan's pretty much ready to go now. He can start running this project. Everything's good. Let's just recap one more time. Sales order was created, and there it is. And that by converting it to a sales order with those particular products, it created a brand new project. And that project, each one of the lines within the sales order became a task within the project, which is exactly what we wanted to achieve. And that's how we set up those projects to achieve in the previous lessons. So that'll do us for now, and I'll see you on the next one.